Hey, let me give you an update on the Utah non-resident concealed carry permit. I get a lot of calls on this trying to explain it over and over and over. So I'm going to put out a video maybe to help you out. You have to have your Virginia permit to apply for the Utah permit. You can take the Utah class first before you take the Virginia permit, and people do that, but you just can't send in the paperwork to Utah until you show proof that you have your Virginia permit. So we run the Virginia concealed permit class. We run the Utah non-resident permit class. The Utah non-resident permit class is $130, and mine's a little bit higher, but we're going to do everything in the classroom. I'm going to do your fingerprints, take your picture for your ID. I'm going to stamp your envelope. We're going to go through everything that you absolutely need. I'm going to give you a mailing envelope, and all you have to do when you leave that door is go to the post office and mail it off. That's it. Utah will charge you $87 for the permit. It's good for 5 years. I just renewed mine. It took me about 15 minutes to renew it on my phone. Very simple, $50. Good for another 5 years. You don't have to take the class again. And so the Utah permit is hot right now because legal experts in Virginia Beach and Richmond, Attorney Tim Anderson, if you don't follow him on social media. He's fighting for our Second Amendment rights, and he's putting out a lot of good stuff. Very, very, very aggressive, protecting you and me and our rights. So follow him. But he's saying that this Utah permit, and he teaches it as well. He's saying that the Utah permit is extremely important right now. Here's what could happen. The reciprocity after July 1st, what the Democrats are going to do, reciprocity could be knocked down for the Virginia permit from 32 states, and it fluctuates, 32 states to the single-digit states for reciprocity, which means you can't leave, you can't carry in other states. It could be single digits. The Utah permit right now is good for 35 states. And so if they did something to that Virginia permit, you could, depending on what they're going to do, the goofiness in Richmond with our administration, depending on what they do, you could fall back on that Utah permit and still have reciprocity in 35 states. So you have to have and keep your Virginia permit. Utah requires that. My Virginia permit class is $90. It's about 2.5, 3 hours, depending on questions and how we do. And that'll get you the opportunity to apply for the Virginia permit. So very important to have right now. Do your research. My classes usually get overbooked. I'm trying to run the Utah class at least 3 or 4 times a week. You can go to my T4 Tactics website, click on class schedule, and see when I'm running them. That Utah class is about 3.5 or 4 hours because there's a lot of administration paperwork. Utah's not playing around. We have to go over firearm safety. We go over Utah law. We hit all the minimum, actually go above the minimum standards, just like in my Virginia class, because it's that important. We're going to talk about legal protection. If you don't have some type of legal protection right now, more than ever, it's very important in Virginia. We have a governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, and a lot of Democrats that do not believe you and I should be carrying or owning a firearm to protect ourselves. If you were to get into a self-defense incident with your firearm, you had better help more than ever right now, because you could be made an example. And that mindset, let me say, that mindset also extends to law enforcement, prosecutors, and judges. Can't wrap my head around that, but it does. So if you were to use your firearm in self-defense, you don't want to be the one that they make an example of. So have some type of legal protection. We can talk to you about that at T4 Tactics. Very simple, very affordable. But now more than ever is the time to be prepared. We get into a normalcy bias where we think that I've been going to that particular grocery store for 18 years. Nothing bad has ever happened. I've been attending my church for 25 years. Nothing bad has ever happened. So that normalcy bias is nothing bad ever will happen. We don't want to live in fear or paranoia. And there's a lot of that going on right now with what happened just recently in Iran. We're going to have some domestic terrorists. We have had some domestic terrorist attacks just in the past week. Don't live in fear or paranoia. Continue to do what you do. Go out and enjoy life. Just have situational awareness. Look around. Have your permits. As a retired police officer, I don't have to have a Virginia or a Utah permit. My retired police ID, along with qualifying with a local law enforcement agency every year to make sure I can hit the broadside of a barn, is my concealed permit, good for all 50 states. Do I have the Virginia permit? Absolutely. Do I have the Utah permit? Absolutely. Because for liability reasons, you want to have as much training as you possibly can. Quality training from a quality, reliable, experienced in the field instructor. Remember, if you are ever involved in a firearm incident, more than likely your firearms instructor is going to go to court and testify on your behalf. You had better hope that they have the court testimony experience, the background, because their background is going to be challenged as well. My background will be challenged as a firearms instructor if I taught you and you do something right or wrong. They're going to look at that. So look at your instructor. But basically, that's how the Virginia and the Utah permit works. If you're interested, go to my T4 Tactics website. And you can contact me, or you can click on class schedule and see when I'm running them. If you can't get into one of mine, because a lot of them are overbooked, if you can't get into one of mine in the Lynchburg area, you can look at the Utah Bureau of Criminal Identification's website, and it'll give you a list of instructors in the Virginia area. Pick one. But the bottom line is, love for you to come to me. But if you don't, then get this. If you are a Virginia concealed permit holder, or you enjoy traveling out of the state with your firearm, you need to get the Utah permit. Do your research, see if it's right for you. Give me a call if I can help you out. The main thing is, with what I do at T4 Tactics, is we want to reduce injuries and save lives. Be smart, legal, reasonable, and responsible gun owners. Take care, everyone.